don't want to do it that way.
but
It's wrong.
But you don't want to talk about that?
No,
What,
please.
What do you want to? Oh, hi. We're just sitting here trying to decide what we're going to talk about, because sometimes opposite Saxes starts before the show and the camera even goes on, because we can't decide on exactly.
Is that who we are?
what
Is
we're
that
gonna
who they're
talk-
watching?
They're watching opposite Saxes.
You have to introduce us. Tell them the time. Maybe it's a new person or two that
Well,
haven't watched
that's
us.
true, because our audience is growing week by week.
Yeah.
And we're very, very happy for that. And for those of you who watch us on a regular basis, welcome back. We always
Thank you guys
enjoy
for
having-
joining us. We love having you.
Yep, we do. And we always like having you here, and especially we enjoy having our good friend Irving Chung with us too, because Irving is a franchise specialist. He knows everything there is to know about franchising. And maybe it's the furthest thing from your mind, but just in case it isn't the furthest thing from your mind, and you said, you know what, I never really gave any serious thought about franchising. You don't even have to be that serious about it. You can just get in touch with Irving.
Before Irving, I didn't even know there were franchise consultants.
I didn't know that you could get
That's fabulous.
to franchising with fairly small amounts of money.
Right.
And even
That
get
too.
some of that
That
underwritten
too.
by loans and grants and things like
Yeah,
that.
no, I had no idea.
So, yeah, and there's some very, very interesting part-time
Mhm.
franchises you can get involved in. So you don't have to give up your day job and give up your
But the
current
fact that you
career.
can talk to him and he can steer you in the right direction. I mean, I
He
never
is
knew that.
so easy to talk to. He is
He
such
is.
a nice guy. If you even had the slightest thought, pick up the phone and call
Doesn't
him.
hurt to ask.
Yeah, and it going to cost you nothing. So what were we talking about?
We were
We did
discussing.
we discuss?
We were discussing what we were going to discuss today.
Well, yeah, not only do we discuss what we're going to talk about, but we also sometimes get into a discussion about for how long. You know, Lauren likes a show that's maybe 10 to 12 minutes. And I say, well, you know, I kind of like it 15 to 20 minutes.
Wrong.
See, this is how we discuss. I say, well,
Well,
what do you
it's
think
just
about this? And she
because
says, wrong.
I think you're biased in this case. You love doing podcasts, as do I. However, I think you have to think of the person that's watching you.
What do you think the our audience has an attention span that doesn't go beyond 15 minutes?
No, it has nothing to do with an attention span. First of all, it has to do, a lot of people catch us when they're working at all sorts of hours, maybe in the middle of the night. And I just think you're playing it safer and you're better off to make it a little shorter. I think you belabor the subject. Like, I love you and Brandon on Trash Talk. You guys are terrific. But there are times where you guys are over 20 minutes or you're at that 20-minute mark, and it's okay, look, you've covered the subject. Now let's move on.
Well, now look, it's 1 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon, and it could be that there are some of those people that follow this show and it's lunchtime for them. And they sitting at their desk and they got their drink and they just took a sip of their drink and they're unpackaging their sandwich and they take a bite out of their sandwich and they're putting the chips out on the thing, and all of a sudden 10 minutes is up and the show's gone. And they were going to have lunch with us. So that was a stretch, wasn't it? I'm just saying that maybe somebody figure I'd like to have lunch with Stuart and Lauren on opposite Saxes, and they're good for about 15 minutes or 20 minutes. And I got an hour for lunch. That gives me plenty of time to go.
But you just said they only have 10 minutes for lunch.
No. I'm saying they takes them a few minutes to unpackage their lunch, lay it out in front of them. They get ready to start to eat, and if the show only lasts 10 minutes, boom, it's over before they even get into their lunch.
First of all, when the concept of podcasts to me was kind of like a short and sweet kind of deal. I didn't think they were supposed to be real long.
Podcasts can be anything from 1 minute. There's some people that do a daily minute
Yeah,
podcast.
I get that.
There are others, and I don't agree, that will go to an hour or two.
Mhm.
It could be a lecture type podcast. Those are sometimes called webinars because they last a
Yes.
little bit longer
Yes.
and they involve,
True.
shared screens and things like that.
Yeah, they're more involved.
But for just little humorous get together shows like ours and everything, I think that 15 minutes or something is a good amount. We should rely on our
I think we should
listeners.
poll the audience.
Poll the audience, yes. Phone a friend.
If anybody
Wasn't
has
it,
any thoughts,
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I'd like to poll the audience.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Good. That was good
Yeah,
memory.
I remember
Yeah,
that.
good memory. Some things you remember. If it has to do with TV or
Can't-
music.
Can't remember what I had for dinner last night, but I can remember to poll the audience.
At any rate, we digress. If anybody has any suggestions, ideas,
Yeah, what do you think
good,
is,
bad, whatever,
an adequate amount of time for a podcast?
similar to ours or us.
And you could have more than one answer, because you could say,
How
if
could
it's
you have
a
more than one?
because if it's a review of something, maybe you say a 5-minute review is adequate. I don't want to sit and listen to somebody review a play for 20 minutes. Give me the essence in 5 minutes. That's why before a movie comes out, you have previews or
We don't really
or a
review
trailer,
anything.
and that usually runs 2 minutes.
We don't really review anything. We just talk nonsense.
I understand. So people could say, you know what? Because your show is nonsense,
Yeah.
and honestly, it usually is. I think you shouldn't go past 10 minutes.
5.
Or others say, you guys are so much fun. I wish your show was a half an hour. There could be one person out there that would say
One
that.
person.
It's a person that has no life
Nothing else to do
outside of watching
whatsoever.
podcasts.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some people that binge watch podcasts. Look, you talk about series on Netflix.
Yeah.
Some of those episodes run 35 minutes,
Correct.
35 minutes.
Correct.
Others, it's an hour.
Well,
So do you sit down and say to yourself, okay, I'm only going to watch one episode because it's an hour?
yes, we just did it the other night.
All right, but then there's other times,
we only had a half an hour.
and there was one series that we watched where they were 30 minutes each,
Mhm.
and we watched 4 or 5
Mhm.
in a row. So
The only thing is you can't compare our little podcast to a Netflix.
of course we
episode.
can. We are rising with a bullet. We are getting up
A
there.
rubber bullet?
Could be a rubber bullet. I mean, it's possible that
You
No,
think
I
very
don't- I
highly
don't-
of yourself,
I know.
don't you?
I was going to say, it's possible that somebody might tune in and see us on Netflix. Nah,
It's-
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's a
We're-
nice
We're
thought,
absolutely thrilled
everybody,
that you
but
go to YouTube to find
yeah,
us.
but yeah, no. I just think, I mean, it's not like we're giving such in-depth podcasts. They're not deep and mysterious with lots of
They're just
info.
fun.
They're fun, exactly. And so
So you
it
can't
seems-
have fun for more than 10 minutes?
I can, but if we have something, because there are some that we really do just make it to 20 minutes because we've got so much to talk about. But then there are others that we get to the point, we make our point, and we're
you
done.
You got nothing else.
Yeah, right. And you got nothing else.
You
So-
you get to the end of the chapter.
And you don't want them to say, gosh, the first 10 were really terrific, but the last 10 were like downhill.
Yeah. Well, that's like the person that says, yeah, I watched that movie for 2 hours and they could have done it in an hour.
Well, I'm
You know,
sure
there's-
between Brandon and Travis that we'll get some feedback.
Yeah, you probably will from the two of them for sure, because they are podcasters.
And Christine might even
Mhm.
chime in, although she's such a good friend, she probably wouldn't want to hurt our feelings either way.
Yeah, if we shortened up our podcast, she wouldn't know what to do with the extra time.
Oh, I'm sure she could find plenty to do
She'd
with her
find-
extra time. Yeah, no, I'm sure about that. But I think you should play safer than sorrier.
In other words, you should keep it shorter and have them crying for more.
There you go. Short and
S-
sweet
s-
wins the race.
Yes, yes.
And what was that other one? The
Uh,
3 B's.
Oh, be brief, be brilliant, and be gone.
Brilliant is,
Well,
I don't know if you'd put us in the brilliant category, but
I would.
brief and gone is good.
I think this show is brilliant. But I mean, I have something invested in it too. And I think highly of our ability to share this with our
No, I'm
audience
very
every week.
pleased with our podcast. I
I
have a
know.
good time with our podcast, and I know it makes most people happy.
Mhm.
Um,
Our daughter will probably have a positive reaction, although she's pretty critical.
oh
She,
yes,
she
and
might
that's
say,
very good.
absolutely don't go over 10 to 12 minutes.
And that's fine.
And my sister would probably say, "Oh, I love listening to
Yeah,
the two of you. You could stay on all day," because she's retired and doesn't.
There's nothing
you know,
else.
yeah,
Well, she does have a lot to do.
Yeah, but
She
she
does, but
makes
she enjoys it.
yeah, and she doesn't necessarily catch us at on at
1 o'clock.
on Thursdays.
Yeah,
She watches
yeah.
it at her convenience.
And that's very good.
which
That's
you can
fine.
do.
Yeah, absolutely. So that being said, where are we? Nowhere.
Where
We're
are
still
we?
at square one.
And I forgot to even look at the clock to see when we started. So I don't even know how many
No,
minutes
this is right.
we have invested.
I
in
know
it,
because we discussed it before we,
because you said I don't want to go more than about 10 or
and we
12
have,
minutes.
and we have.
Oh, so we've reached our limit.
We're about 15.
Oh, so we've gone over our limit.
We're over, we're done.
So that means good night, Stuart. Good night. Good night, Lauren.
Love you, honey.
That's it. So that means we're out of here.
Be brief.
Be brilliant. Be
Be
gone.
gone. See ya.